Hey guys, Dustin here, CEO of 630. Today I've got Peter with me, our head of customer experience and quality control. And today we are going to be comparing the EVRYjourney women's to the Body Ease women's. So I've got Peter here with me today. Peter's got over 30 years experience in the bike industry, all the way from a mechanic to a bike shop store manager to here with us now as head of customer experience in QC. Pete, thanks for joining us.
Hey guys.
And today we're gonna compare the EVRYjourney women's to the Body Ease women's. We get this question a lot. How do these two bikes compare? What's the differences? So I'll jump right into it and get us started off. The most major difference you see is the frames. Now, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of reasons why the frames are different, what they do. It's not just aesthetic, but what you can see just looking at them, they look different. So the first thing I will point out is the Body Ease actually has a lower step through. Now, the EVRYjourney does have a low step through, but the Body Ease has a lower step through. So we call this bike the Body Ease because we tried to design it to really make it as easy on the body as possible in terms of the mounting, the dismounting, everything. So if mounting and dismounting is a big deal to you, the Body Ease is a great option because it has a low step through. However, with that said, the EVRYjourney has a really low step through as well, and the advantage to the EVRYjourney is you can actually keep the seat much lower to the ground because of the forward pedaling design. So to say that one is easier to mount or dismount is not necessarily true. They're actually just a little bit different. If the step over height is important to you, I would say you need a low step over, but you're still maybe kind of tall. The Body Ease is a better option. But if just the overall mounting of a bike is something that's difficult for you, I think the EVRYjourney is actually a little bit better because of the fact that the seat can be lower while you're riding and you still get ample leg extension with the forward pedaling design, which takes me into the next point about the difference in these two frames, which is the EVRYjourney is a forward pedaling design and the Body Ease is more of a traditional triangle frame design. And I'll let Pete sort of speak to those differences and what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of those two elements.
Yeah, thanks Dusty. Yeah, these bikes, as you can see, are quite different. But I'll just start off with the pedal positioning. That's kind of one of the main things because Dusty already pointed out the low step through height right here, which is probably the principal and most obviously seen difference between the two bikes. But the other difference, like Dusty mentioned, is that the pedals are more directly below the seat here on the Body Ease, whereas on the EVRYjourney it's more forward. This allows, with the pedal forward, it allows you to get the correct leg extension while you're riding, but puts you lower to the ground. With the Body Ease, you are going to be a little bit higher up, even though you can step through it a little more easily. It's interesting, both of these bikes have high quality aluminum frames, so very similar in that regard. But there are a lot of differences that have gone into the design of the Body Ease. It's a big departure from the EVRYjourney. The EVRYjourney was a bit of a departure from the original Cruiser, and we talked about that in a separate video, where it's been elongated and put the pedals forward for the advantages that of ease of riding and lower to the ground, and some people prefer that sort of positioning. But there are actually quite a few differences that have gone to the Body Ease. You want to go ahead and talk about those, or did you want to jump in?
I mean, to play off the riding design a little bit, both of them are going to have upright rides. That's how we've sort of designed it. The Body Ease may have you might have a slight bend or lean forward in your back because you can see the handlebars are actually straight out in front. So some people may have to reach just a slight bit to get to the handlebars, but that's going to depend on your arm length. So some people may be totally straight up and down. I think most will be. But with these frame designs, what the real difference is one thing is when you're pedaling, as Pete said, your feet are going to be out in front of you. So it's going to take a little bit of pressure off the hips. Now, on the Body Ease, you're going to be able to get a little more power on the downstroke because your hips are going to be right in line with the pedal. So you can really get power on the down pedal. Again, the EVRYjourney was designed to be sort of a hybrid cruiser comfort bike, and with the ideal purpose of really comfort on paved surfaces for leisure rides, but still long distance rides, things like that. Not necessarily if you want to hit top speeds, but the Body Ease is designed to be more of a versatile bike, really, and more of a hybrid. just the riding position, you can get a little bit more aggressive on it while still being comfortable. So that's a really key difference, and that brings me to the next thing, which is the handlebars. And when you look at these, the EVRYjourney tries to swoop the handlebars into your body, so that really allows the back to stay upright. You don't have to reach at all. The handlebars are really right here. Now, there's a lot of comments about the width of them, but the width kind of allows them to sweep back and sort of sit in line with the width or just outside the width of shoulders. So you can kind of just have your arms like this, relaxed and grabbing the bars. The difference on the body ease is they're going to be out in front of you. And Pete and I were just discussing this. Some people find that more advantageous. As opposed to being here, you're going to be here. Now, I think a major difference there is your arm's going to be a little more flexed in this position, and you're going to be reaching a little bit. But again, it's going to allow you a little bit more aggressiveness in the ride. I don't know if you think the same thing, but I think you could ride a little faster on this. You could steer a little bit tighter, things like that. But this is more comfort, a little less tension on the body, things like that.
Yeah, just touching briefly on the handlebars. In terms of comfort, I would say that most people probably do prefer the cruiser sweep, but some people find it too wide, and then other people actually will prefer the tighter straight handlebars like this. This type of handlebar will give you more control. If you're moving at higher speeds or you need a little bit more agility, this will give you more control. Also at slower speeds, some people, once you're riding a bike and it hits the right speed, you just lean it to turn, of course. But sometimes at slower speeds, you'll be turning the wheel. Very few, but occasionally we've gotten some feedback that this wider handlebar will actually hit them. So I don't know, a few people prefer this style for that reason.
I think it's really riding position and arm position. This is going to put you in a more relaxed, probably less ability to turn on a dime, less ability to turn at higher speeds. This type of handlebar, a little more control, ability to turn a little quicker. Again, personal preference. However, the EVRYjourney was really designed for the ultimate sort of hybrid cruiser functionality. Body ease is how do we create a very versatile hybrid bike while still giving comfort. So to move through the rest of the bike, I'll point out just some of the obvious differences, and then we'll get into some more of the details. So both have quick release front wheels. One quick difference is the body ease actually is not available in a single speed. It's only available in 3 721s. EVRYjourney does have a single speed option, so if you want to do very simple sort of neighborhood riding or by the beach riding, you've got a great single speed option if that's appealing to you. The body ease, this one doesn't have fenders, but our new models actually do have fenders, so that would be one similarity. The other thing I want to point out for both bikes is we have different trim levels. So the EVRYjourney now has 3 trim levels. We've got the casual edition as our sort of base model entry level. We've got our steel version as our mid-range, and what we're looking at here is our highest spec tiered model, EVRYjourney. And this is the same with the body ease. As of now, we only have 2 trim levels with the body ease. We have the body ease consistent, which is 1 step below what you're looking at here. So a lot of what we're talking about right now is we're talking about differences of the frames and sort of the general differences in the bikes, but we're also going to talk about specific differences on the trim levels as well. So if we're talking about a pedal difference between these two, we're talking about the highest level trim models on these 2 bikes. So those differences wouldn't hold up if you were to say buy the EVRYjourney Steel. The pedals are going to be different on the EVRYjourney Steel versus this EVRYjourney. So I think that's important to note. Now, moving through, they both have rear racks. One big difference you can see is in the seat region, and it's the seat post. Pete, I don't know if you want to talk about the suspension seat post sort of advantages, disadvantages.
Yeah, absolutely. So this really is, the body really is a true hybrid, and a hybrid is a mix of different styles of bikes that are more specific to certain uses, and a hybrid kind of takes different advantages of those other types of bikes and blends them into something for a new use. And this was built for comfort. And so, along with the other attributes that we talked about, like the step-through frame, this one has front suspension right here, and then it also has suspension in the seat post. So The front suspension will obviously allow for a more cushioned ride. One thing about suspension though is that it can absorb a little bit of your energy and make the ride a little bit less efficient. And so on this top tier level, we've added an adjustable lockout suspension. So if you need some more suspension, you can have it at the full suspension, or you can also adjust it for less, or you can even lock it out so it's like a rigid fork, which is the maximum efficiency if you're riding on a smooth road. You also have the suspension seat post to take out some of the bumps on the road. Another big difference between these two bikes is that we went ahead and we put a larger road bike style wheel on here, so it has a larger diameter tire, but then it's much narrower. That makes for a more efficient ride. Also, the pressure is higher. This is an 85 PSI tire, whereas this is a 65. 65 is still pretty high to make for a more efficient ride. You can lower it for a more comfortable ride, but for the body ease, you can pump it all the way up to 85 PSI. That will give you a very, very efficient ride. If you want a little more cushion, you can always take out a little bit of the pressure too.
Let me interject there too. So when we say efficient, we basically mean you're going to get the maximum amount of roll for your pedal. It's kind of a funny line, but I think that's the truth of it. And with a thicker tire, you're not going to roll as much with each pedal because it's fatter. There's more rubber hitting the ground. You're dragging more. So the advantage to the fatter tire is it's softer. It's going to take the bumps a lot better. It's going to make the overall ride more comfortable. You're going to feel less vibration in your body because there's more rubber to absorb it. Now the advantage to the thinner tire is it's going to roll smoother. It's going to roll faster and easier. More roll for the pedal, basically. So difference, not necessarily advantage or a disadvantage. Again, the EVRYjourney is really, really geared towards sort of maximum cruiser hybrid comfort. This bike is geared towards comfort as well, but what we tried to do on the body ease is also make it versatile and still allow people to get exercise at high speeds and have control of the bike. So that's why we've used the thinner tire. Again, more efficient. The one thing I want to pick up sort of what Pete was explaining on the fork here, the fork moves up and down its suspension. Now the lockout basically means if you lock it, that fork won't move at all. And what that's going to do is, again, it's going to allow for more roll for the pedal. Basically, that fork won't move up and down. Now that's going to make the bumps a little bit more rigid. You're going to feel the bumps a little bit more with the fork locked out. If you have the fork unlocked so it can move up and down, it's going to absorb the bumps a lot better. The fork and the shock will move as you go over the bumps, reducing vibration on your body. So that's a great feature to have. If you're concerned about feeling vibration, go ahead and let the suspension do its job. But hey, if you want to go out and try to hit your max speed, lock the fork out and you'll get a lot of roll for the pedal. So moving through the rest of the bike, another big difference is the saddles. And again, same sort of philosophy. We tried to marry, the comfort of the body with sort of the hybrid capabilities or road performance capabilities. So we've got a narrower seat here, still comfort, but the EVRYjourney's got a really wide saddle to cradle your rear. I find this to be, more comfortable in that it really cups your rear, which is very nice. This one, still comfortable, but again, it's a less there in the saddle. It's just a little more aerodynamic, less weight to carry around. The other thing I just want to say about the seat, the suspension seat, and this is really important, is if you buy the body ease, on the sizing, this bike actually cannot accommodate women 5'4" and below. I think that's really important. Now, I say that it can't accommodate women 5'4" and below. It actually can if you do change the seat post. So that's important. Pete, I don't know if you want to pop that out really quick, but this seat post basically cannot go any lower than where the suspension starts. That's a kind of a difference here. A suspension seat post is also something that can be bought aftermarket, and it's similar to the forks. It's basically just going to have more give underneath you as you go over bumps, the seat post. And so here Pete shows you can swap out the seat, and actually now a rider 5 foot could ride this bike. But when the body ease comes stock with the seat post, it's just important to know that women 5'4" and below could not ride the bike with the suspension seat post that way. But again, it's a nice feature to have. It's really going to take the bumps, move up and down with you and move up and down with your body. So if you engage the suspension fork and have the suspension seat post, the bike's really going to take a lot of the bumps and the movement, so your body doesn't have to feel it. So moving down into the rest of the bike, Pete, do you want to speak a little bit to the pedals and the cranks and things like that?
Absolutely. So if you were to get either one of these bikes, you could be very confident these are very high quality bikes. First of all, the aluminum frame, high quality aluminum frame. They're both lightweight. They also both have excellent wheels. These are double walled rims, which is a little bit on the technical side of things, but it makes for a much stronger wheel. That's what you're going to find on mountain bikes and on performance road bikes, rather than the other type of rim that will be found on cruisers. So both of them have very high quality double walled rims. They both have the 3-piece cranks that you will find on higher end and performance bikes. It's a sealed bearing that doesn't need any adjusting. It's impervious to the elements. So both bikes have that feature. They do have slightly different pedals. These are barefoot pedals. I don't think there's a major difference in these guys, but this one has a little bit of a wider pedal. This one has a silver, maybe a little more stylish with the chrome look there. They both do have the quick release front wheels. I think we may have mentioned that before, but both of them have high quality components, basically almost the same in terms of the basic componentry.
Yeah, one thing I would say on this spec level, both of these bikes are basically spec to be of equal quality. Just some differences, really, is what it comes down to. In terms of everything, and the rims too. I don't know if we've mentioned the rims.
Yes.
If you're looking for something high quality, both are going to fit that bill. It really comes down to riding position and how you're going to ride your bike, and that segues me into take the body fit quiz on our website. It's going to take your sort of riding habits into account, your body dimensions, and our proprietary algorithm is going to help choose a bike that's right for you. So Pete, before we wrap, anything else we want to add?
I think we've really covered most of it. It's going to be, this one really is a matter of personal preference. What do you think is going to be the most comfortable bike for you? What's going to make sense for you in terms of the step over height? And then also, what type of riding are you going to be doing? Is it maybe a little more leisurely, or you want to kind of maybe get a little more exercise on a comfortable bike like this one? So really a lot of personal preference will go into this decision here.
Yep. So don't forget, take the body fit quiz on our website. Proprietary algorithm will help choose the bike that's right for your body and your lifestyle. And don't forget, we have a 365-day return policy. So in 365 days, if you are not happy with your bike, you can send it back for any reason, no questions asked, no charge. Also, comment below if you have any other additional questions. We'll get back to you, or email us, the team at sixthreezero.com, or you can call us 310-982-2877. Don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride.